Welcome to WTSS, your weekly forecast. I'm Kita, this is Pam,
What's up?
and we're going to talk about a lot of things that are going on. Some stuff that just happened today, notably the joint attack on Iran by US and Israel. There's also an eclipse coming up on the 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
And release Epstein files so that people can start taking themselves out and we don't have to get any guillotines involved. Also, I do declare March like another Black History Month because last month wasn't I always have fun in Black History Month, but I just feel like we should just get another one. Let's just do another one. So I guess we can get started with the attack on an Iranian school by US and Israel. And what's so unfortunate about this, first of all, the kind of people who engage in like the trafficking of children, they don't have the kind of empathy that it takes to feel when it comes to taking the life of another
Mm.
person. And it's not a surprise to me at all that these same kinds of people feel justified or entitled to hurt people at all, but also to take away these children from their parents and their families and their communities, which is devastating. You can just say, "Hey, Iran, we're gonna go to war." You don't have to provoke them. And now we are ushering into World War III. This is, I mean, it's been a long time coming. I don't know. What do you think about it, Pam?
I think war is fucking stupid. In all iterations of it. I think that, any solution can become a solution without people having to die for it, right? I don't think anything is that important in regards to resources. Like we could definitely just have a conversation. Um, and if people don't want to share the
We can
resources,
share.
then we should come up with another solution, you know?
Let's just use something
Right.
else.
Exactly.
For real. It's like, oh no, we're gonna have to stop destroying the environment and find other modes of transportation.
Right. In a
Just with another
in an
solution.
equitable world, it wouldn't even come to that. And I look forward to
Mhm.
when that is reality and we're not, you know, fighting like little babies, to get the things that we want.
We're not fighting like
We're
little
not.
babies.
We're not. We're not.
Mm,
These people
We
who
we are.
have usurped our power. How about that? How about these deceivers?
How about that?
These deceivers are
And the thing, yeah, yeah, they're playing a board game. For them, they're playing a board game, and this is like I should have talked about this last week. When it comes to the Epstein files, like, and how the UN like has officially like declared that Jeffrey Epstein and his sex ring is a crime against humanity.
Mhm.
The kind of people who do things like hurt children or uh bomb places, these people do not have the mental mechanisms to, let me say this in another way. They don't care. They do not care. And a lot of the reason why they target children isn't because they hate children or have like some kind of like deviant attraction to children. They will literally harm any vulnerable person who they come across. And that is why children are often victims of abuse, and disabled people are often victims of abuse, and the people in our society who fall through the cracks, like indigenous people, Black women, trans women. These people are vulnerable to sadistic abuse because these abusers, first of all, these victims are in positions where they just become vulnerable, like they need support and are they or they're like put in situations where these abusers like have easy access
Mhm.
to them. And also the abusers want to eh, act out their sadistic fantasies and they can do it to these vulnerable populations without consequence. That's all it is. The grand majority of people who abuse children aren't pedophiles. The grand majority, I'm talking upwards of 90%. The grand majority of them are just sadists who are targeting vulnerable people, and children are very vulnerable. And that's it. And when Israel and the US, we're gonna see a lot of news coming out about how it was an accident, they were targeting something else, and the technology just faltered, and that's how they hit a school. They hit the school on purpose because they were like, "What can we do to make Iran hit us back?
Mhm.
What can we do to start a let's kill children?" They do not care. They do not care about the babies like we do. They don't have the empathy. They literally just see all of us and those kids as
And no
pawns.
one's holding them
And
accountable,
the same way that you might no one's holding them account no one's holding them accountable.
right? Like,
And it's like, if you put me in a closet with one of these MRFers for 5 minutes with no Secret Service, no military, with nothing, I would just kick their ass. I would just
barely.
kick their ass. That's that's not happening. It takes people power, and the good news is that we outnumber them.
Right.
But the bad news is that they have a lot of power and resources,
And a lot of people
and that's what
are very effectively brainwashed. Like these
Mhm,
systems that these usurpers, these deceivers have designed that teach us that
mhm,
we're that human beings are not all just one thing, right? That human beings have,
mhm.
like race, gender, all that kind of shit, right? And that
Some of us are
what
more important than
and that
others.
what they have to provide is good, right? That the government is good, that America is great, right? That, Israel has a right to defend itself. All of these like marketing tools, all of this propaganda that is reiterated,
Market
right? And based
propaganda.
in nothing, right? It's
They're just
delusional
manipulative.
behavior.
And that's the thing. That's how abusers are able to get away with what they get away with because they don't just groom their victims, they groom everyone around them to enable their abuse. At the end of the day, why the fuck is anybody dying? Why is anyone getting killed? Why are schools being bombed? And even Iran, on the one hand, they're bombing military bases,
Mhm.
US military bases, which
What
is
you're supposed to do.
like the
That's
US
how
and
war
Israel.
works. Those are the
Yeah,
rules.
I mean like yeah, those are the rules. But it's like me being a teacher when I have like 2 class clowns who team up together to bully. It's like me giving them rules. Like, a lot of the time those kids have a lot of energy and want attention, so I'm like, "Okay, you're gonna be my helper." But at the end of the day, like just stop being class clowns and bullying people. Just stop.
Right.
Like, just stop. I have to give you these rules to like reduce the impact of your behavior, but really you're supposed to now they're children. These are grown ass men who have had decades to even if they don't experience empathy like the rest of us, they could have a moral compass to help them understand that it is not okay to hurt other people. And they don't care. They do
They're
not
not
care.
capable of
There's no
caring,
they
right?
don't
Like
care about
being involved in what they have been involved in as where it has come to light in the Epstein files. And people have been telling us, victims have been coming forward since, I was little, since my mother was little, right? People have been trying to tell the truth of what goes on. But that propaganda machine, right?
Mm,
Like, this is a good guy, right? Like, they're provide aren't they so funny? Aren't they a really great musician, right? Like everybody loves Chris Brown. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that type shit.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, are you all still talking about that? Like, I was looking up stuff for the podcast about Jeffrey Epstein, and there was like reels and reels of Donald Trump being like, "Are you all still talking about that?" That is that is the abuser's favorite line, is that it's in the past and we need to get over this. This isn't a big deal, bitch. It was a fucking island dedicated to trafficking.
Mhm.
My God. No, I'm not gonna get over it. I'm always going to give a fuck about it, and you can't stop me.
It's the same logic
We're
that they
supposed to
used
be annoyed
to
about that.
it's the same logic they used to shut down the conversation about, reparations.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are still talking about slavery? How about if this lasted for hundreds of years? I'm gonna talk about it for hundreds of years, at least.
The
At
pump.
least. And like that's how I my mom was cut off, but that's what I would tell her is like, how about you did this shit for decades and I only been talking about it for like 2 years. How
How about
about
that?
you just let me keep talking until I'm over it. You shouldn't have done it. It was a messed up thing to do. You didn't spill milk. You like bombed a school. You created a trafficking ring on an island. No, I'm not over it.
So
And they don't. So the thing is, like, Israel has the right to defend itself. L- Oh, that stuff's like so old and they don't care. They're just literally saying anything that they can do to get you to
yeah,
shut up. They
yeah.
do not care. They Benjamin Netanyahu does not care about anyone's right to defend anybody's self except for his own self. That's why he's not bombing his house. That's why he's not fucking with his own family. That's why they're not bombing the White House. They're not going into the army. Put Donald Trump in the army right now. I want them to send Donald Trump to Iran on the ground right
Right.
now.
He is the leader
I
of the
want them
army,
to do
right?
it.
Of the United States Armed Forces. That's your job.
Send him.
Once upon a time, kings went to
Yeah, it's your
battle,
job.
you know? But he's got
Like, go. He said some of our heroes will die. That's what
oh my
happens with
god.
war. And I'm like, okay, go be a
Right.
hero, Mr. President.
Get the glory.
Get your fucking glory.
Yeah.
What's your geriatric ass
Right.
shitting all over the place? Oh
That's
my
disgusting.
God.
That's so embarrassing. Like, oh my gosh.
That everybody knows.
It's embarrassing that he's the president of the United
Oh
States and
my
he's like
God.
not, just
He's
being a
incontinent.
retired person. These folks need to be retired people. Relinquish the power.
They need
Relinquish
to
the power. New change is the only inevitable thing, right? It's the only guarantee. Like, just let it go, bro. Just fucking let it go.
these kind of people are fighters too. They will fight for their lives, man. It's like, God, Jesus,
Really
die.
exhausting.
Your body is shutting down. Benjamin Netanyahu too. And I like knowing what I do know about sadists, when this stuff like goes down, all I think is like, you know that you're old and that you're gonna die soon, and this is like your last hurrah.
That is not what I would want to
This
be
is
doing
what
with my
they're like,
last
oh my God.
days. Their priorities are so strange. It's so weird. Like, go enjoy yourself.
Go to the fucking walk. Like, garden. Go skydiving. If you need a
Go
thrill,
skydiving
go
without a
bungee jump.
parachute.
Quit,
Like,
please.
what I'm really frustrated about, and I was talking to you about this earlier, I'm really frustrated because I'm like, I get online and I'm like listening to the discourse because I want to feel like the pulse of what's going on. And there's so many people who are like, you
Mhm.
know, Obama wouldn't have, Kamala wouldn't have. We've got to get out there
Oh,
and we've got to, get him out of office. Like, bro, we are so beyond that. The United States of America is the government is not designed to save us or protect us, and it never has. It never has. And all of these folks, if you engage them and say something like, well, you know what? The fact of the matter is that the war was always the plan, right? Starving Americans was
mhm,
always the fucking plan. Getting rid of food stamps was always the fucking plan. Going to
mhm,
war with Iran was always the fucking plan.
mhm,
If you engage them in that way, then
mhm,
they shut down, right? Because they've been indoctrinated to believe, blue no matter what, right? They're still in that, which like blows my fucking mind because you saw them still decimating people all over the fucking
mhm.
planet. enslaving people all over the fucking planet. They're fucking child abusers. These people
Mhm.
do not function in the way
They're
that
child
you and I function. They do not consist of empathy and kindness and accountability. They don't give a fuck about any of that. They acquire, they consume. They
don't
are
care. They're having
fucking
fun.
monsters. And they do not give a shit about us.
This is what
And
they do.
Congress does not give a shit about us because we told them to stop bombing Gaza and they kept fucking doing it. And they're still fucking doing it. And they're still
Mm.
giving money to Israel. So there is no fucking way that no matter who, there's no way, there's no one we can vote for. There's no president of the
Uh-uh.
United States that has existed or ever will exist that is going to save us and protect people in other nations. That is not their fucking job. What we need to do
That's not their
is
job.
gather, right?
That's not their
Gather
job.
and use what you were talking about, that people power, right? And decide what we want government to look
Mhm.
like, how we want to move forward, what foreign
Mhm.
policy actually needs to be, how we protect our children, how we protect our neighborhoods, how we grow food together, how we nurture each other and create something new, because this is not the fuck it. And they are not going to change it
This
for
isn't it.
us. We must do it. We
They're
are
not.
the only ones who will save us. We have to create, like, it can't even be
Swear.
in that city, Washington, D.C. Like, I can't even get into how
It's like a cursed city.
it is cursed. It is. The last time I was in Washington, D.C., I could feel it in my body, right? If I never have to go to
Mhm.
Washington, D.C. again, I'm going to be so good with that. Like, that city was designed using astrology, using witchcraft. Like, Google the fucking IRS building and look at the art outside of the IRS building. These people are using witchcraft. These people are using astrology. And they have been telling us that that shit is woo-woo, right? And, like, again,
Because
indoctrination.
they don't want us to do it too.
Because if we
Because we
gather
outnumber
and
them.
we
And
do
our
what we're
ancestors are so
doing,
strong.
right, then, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, those motherfucking people are not going to save us. No one that they put into a position, no one that they put into a position of power is going to save us. I don't even trust Mandami. I think he's doing some nice shit, but I don't trust him either. Like, we have to create something outside of this
At
system.
the end of the day, it takes a certain kind of.
I,
Yeah.
I, I'll believe it when I see the results 4 years from now. But as of right now,
Yeah.
AOC taught me not to trust these motherfuckers because she's on the same vein.
I know.
Saying that you're a
Yeah.
democratic socialist and doing some good
Really
things here and
disappointing.
there, okay. But, like, show me the results, show me the money. I'm still critical and skeptical. But
I would rather have a democratic socialist government than the one that we have now. But at the end of the day, the government would still be playing a political board game for fun with other governments across the world. The kind of people who sign up to be like a global power have a certain kind of personality.
mhm,
We have leaders. We have leaders who are able to take like who are able to guide a community and lead a community. And first of all, the people look to them because they know them, not because they appeared and voted for them randomly. Like we have like, I don't know, patriarchs and matriarchs in our neighborhoods, um, who people have grown up with and seen the way that they behave and the impact that they've had on the people around them. And they're like, this is someone who I trust to be a good leader for me and my family and my friends and this community. And the government is not it. They literally, like, these psychopaths just created a like playing ground for like their fun sadistic
acquisition of wealth.
games. And then yeah, then they're making us participate because they need pawns on their chessboard. Like, they need something to sacrifice in order to get their queen and take over the king. Like, that's it. That's how they see us. They're like, well, they can't kill all of us because they're gonna need to use us to sacrifice us for whatever their goals are. But like, they don't care about people.
Mhm.
And the kind of there's a lot of well-meaning people who get into politics, but the kind of people who stay and who wanna rise to
Yeah.
power, those are opportunists who want act out their sadistic fantasies.
Mhm.
That's it.
I just feel like there's so many, like, the gears were designed to churn out racism and capitalism and sexism and homophobia and transphobia. Like, all of these horrible things are ingrained in the systems, in the processes, in the locations of the buildings, right? Like, all of them in the way that the buildings are
Mhm.
designed, they're inaccessible, and cold and hard. Um, and based on the architecture of Rome, right? And Rome fucking fell. Like, why is that your example?
It's like thousands of years ago. If we need to get over anything, we need to get over that shit. Like, get over it.
But
We don't need that. We don't need to be using the same systems that they used in Rome. That was thousands of years ago, and it wasn't successful. So
and
let's
genuinely,
let it
like,
go.
the expansion and acquisition of space and calling it all the same thing, that kind of homogeny, is problematic, right? Like, colonization is a
Mhm.
problematic practice. Like, I was just thinking this morning, everybody's like, "Why are we always at war? Why are we always at war?" We're always at war because that was Europe's GDP, right? They couldn't compete with the spice trade, with,
Mhm.
like, the silk and all that kind of shit. So they were like, well, if we can't make money selling the products that we got, then we're just going to become bandits. And that's exactly what Europe did. They stole people, they stole land, they stole
Grifters.
all the resources, and they made it a business. War is the business, right?
Mhm.
Like, you know,
Mhm.
one of the first things that I learned about history and war was that war is very profitable. Right? And that's why they keep going back to it.
Mm.
War is super profitable because that's Europe's business model. And that's the
Mhm.
United States business model. And that is Israel's fucking business model. Um, and we don't have to accept
Ugh.
that. I think that, I'm frustrated because many people are
That's not
not.
my business. I don't give.
Yeah, right. I'm very frustrated that a lot of people haven't, like, caught up to this thought process yet, but they will. They will, because that is the
They
movement
will.
of Pluto and Aquarius. That is the movement of the age of Aquarius, right? It's leading us all to the
Mhm.
realization that the power remains within the people, and that is so fucking powerful because there's so many of us, right? And technology is proving to us
Mhm.
over and over again that if we collectively say the same things, if we collectively believe the same things with our spirit, right, with our bodies, and we're collectively remembering histories, right? We're remembering Haiti, we're remembering the way that the French got down, right? Like, we're remembering how these things work, right? That there is a collective movement that makes shit happen and makes it real. Um, and that we can create our own shit. It's gonna suck. The process of change sucks. Like, it sucks. All change is inherently violent, whether it's, physically violent, emotionally violent, or just the violence of, like, moving one thing to a place that it's never been before and then you having to adjust to the fact that it's there.
Mhm.
But that's what Aquarius does, and Pluto doesn't give a fuck, right? Like, I feel like Aquarius and Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto as a modern ruler, it's also ruled by Mars, and Mars has been Marsing. Mars has been Marsing this week. Um,
Yeah.
but Pluto,
My Mars in Aquarius too.
um, yeah, Mars, Mars,
It's
Mars,
just.
Mars squared. Speaking of Aquarius, yeah, that's what happened today. Was that Mars squared Uranus, right? So Uranus is the planet of the unexpected. It's one of the rulers, it's the modern ruler of Aquarius, right? And Pluto's in Aquarius right now. So we're having the power shift of the collective. Uranus is saying unexpected shit, right? Turbulence, change, unexpected things.
Mm.
And then Mars is having a positive or a conflicting conversation because Uranus is in uh uh God, I cannot get the words out. Mercury retrograde affects me so much. Um
Take your time.
It's Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus. It's about to move into Gemini next month.
Uh,
Well, it'll be next month by the time
mm,
people see this because it's going to be tomorrow before this is up.
Uranus is in Taurus?
Uranus
Wow.
is going to move into Gemini in April. It's in Taurus right now.
Okay.
And Mars is at the end of Aquarius, which has been complicated for my home because we've got Mars is in Aquarius in this house. So there's been a lot of anger in this house.
Really?
Mhm.
I've been so angry too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
My Aquarius is in Mars, or my Mars is in Aquarius. I didn't know that Mars, the planet, was in Aquarius too.
Yeah.
This this is making sense. I hope
The
these planets shift
astrology is
and
astrologying.
fix my heat.
But yeah, that
Yeah, the astrology is
Mars,
astrology.
war, fire, aggression, cutting, violence, slashing, blood. Mars rules blood. And it's in Aquarius of the collective.
All
Uranus is
so
in
many.
an earth sign, Taurus, the land, right? And they fucking bombed the land today. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The astrology is astrologying. And, astrologers have been saying this was going to be a turbulent ass week because there's that a square happening. And then the fucking eclipse is on the 3rd, right? That's just a few days from now. And eclipse is like, it's like the impetus. It's like the catalyst. It's the thing that makes things happen. And so we're in between eclipses still. So
Lord. Oh.
it's very intense. I have not I really wanted to be like out and about and doing shit, but I have been so fucking exhausted. This all of this energy, I can feel it. I can feel it in my body. I feel it pulling me down. Me and the kid both have just not wanted to I was like, "Do you want to go outside today?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Great."
You know how annoying it is when you don't want to do shit, but the kid does?
Mhm. Right. I
It's
was
like,
like,
oh
"No,
my God.
no, I don't want to.
She's like, I need to take a
I
nap.
don't want to do it today." But yeah, that square is really saying weird shit is going on. And it's fucked up too, right? Because my life right now is generally harmonious. My personal life is harmonious.
Mhm,
It feels good. I'm chill.
mhm,
I can feel the turbulence. I'm a little exhausted,
mhm,
but it's not fucking up my shit.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Mercury retrograde is Mercury
mhm.
retrograde, and there's been a lot of messes in this house. There's some Virgo energy
I've
amongst
been
it.
trying to ignore that.
It's a lot of messes, a lot of things spilling, a lot of things. We broke a glass. Well, a glass was broken the other day,
A glass was broken. We no.
no, it wasn't me.
I didn't break the glass.
But, things are breaking, messes are happening constantly, and tempers have been high, as a collective. And not just in
Uh-huh. Yeah.
what's your experience been like?
The kids this last week, especially at my job, I'm a teacher. Um, they had to start Tuesday. I'm like, y'all are all on one. What's going on? They were so chill last week. They
Mm,
were so chill. It was very fun. Monday, super chill. And then I was like, oh, this is usually kids go home on the weekend. We had a 3-day weekend too. They go home on the weekend and they come back acting brand new.
uh-huh.
That's happens every week. All teachers had to deal with that. But the kids came in and I work with toddlers, um, who I think are really sensitive to the climate. And so they came in, they were super chill on Monday, then Tuesday, they've been on one all week. They've been sleepy, hungry. Oh, they're going through terrible twos, and they all been on their no this week. They've been like, no, I'm not about to listen to you. Usually, even the ones who be listening haven't been listening. So I'm like, oh
They're
God.
on their Pluto and Aquarius.
Uh,
They're like, power structure, I will not obey you. I run me.
This is the best thing about working with kids though, is because kids haven't fallen in line yet. And so they know that technically they don't have to listen to me. Like
And don't.
like And what are you gonna do? And I'm not really about to do anything. The whole point of my job is to persuade them to learn.
Mhm. I like that you use the word
Their
persuade.
saving grace is that they're so adorable.
I
Huh?
like that you use the word persuade.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, man.
come here and get some
Oh my
education,
god.
little ones.
Yeah, mwahahaha. It's like, oh my god, it's so exhausting. But
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah, and it's
like
protein
the stuff that
season.
they want to do, I'm like, I understand why you want to do that. That's fun. What you're doing is fun. It's just destructive and it's a bad idea. You might break something, might hurt yourself.
But
I told one of the older kids this week. What did he do? I can't even remember. But he was doing something dangerous and he kept doing it. And he stopped when I was like, listen, if if XYZ happens, you know who your parents are gonna be angry at? They're not gonna be angry at you. They're gonna be angry at me. And that's not fair because I didn't do this. You just won't listen. And he stopped.
excellent.
I was like, all right.
Slay.
I'm not trying to make my stuff your problem. You're just 7, but dang, come on, kid.
On.
Stop. Like, none of us want this for you.
Right.
Anywho,
So,
what's going on with this eclipse?
yeah, that's exactly what I was about to start talking about. You read my mind. So, the eclipse happens on March 3rd. For the West Coast, it happens 3/3 at 3:33 a.m. On the East Coast, it happens at 6:33 a.m. And that is the chart that I'm looking at, because Eastern Standard Time is American Standard Time, in my opinion, because that's where I have lived most of my life in Eastern Standard Time. And I'm also in Eastern Standard Time right now. So
Right.
let's see. So there's a big ass Pisces stellium happening for Philadelphia, New York, Washington, D.C. Well, everywhere. Everywhere is getting a big Pisces stellium. The North Node is there, the Sun is there, Mercury is there, Venus is there, right? Um, and that's a lot of magic, right? That's why we're so
Mhm.
fucking tired. You know, Mercury's retrograde in Pisces, like everybody wants to take a fucking nap. Everybody needs to take a fucking nap. But like the hard thing is we all want to take
I've
a
been
nap, but like Neptune's in Aries. So like Neptune is awake and Neptune is one of Pisces rulers. Jupiter and Neptune rule Pisces. So like, you know, there's a lot of Aries energy.
and Aries is a
Aries
baby.
is a baby.
The baby's making yeah, it's making us take like, it's like when you have a newborn,
Oh my
like, you
god.
gotta wake up every 2 hours.
Oh my god, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done some really hard shit, was be a single parent to a newborn. Oh my god, that was so fucking hard. And very little sleep.
Winter
Very little sleep.
the last nanny job that I had, I was like, "Oh my god, there's 2 of you, and y'all are so tired." Oh my god, that was the first time that I ever seen that. I had never seen someone take care of a newborn before,
And they're so
and
tiny.
like, I already told you this. Yeah, I think I already told you that, like, yeah, for a while, for the first few months when I was nannying, when I would go there, that was their sleep time. They would sleep in shifts. Crazy. That's literally like, man, everyone needs a nanny, dude. Everyone needs
For
one.
real. Other countries do that. Other countries do that. Places where
Yeah.
not the United States, you get a person that comes over your house and helps you take care of your baby and helps you do laundry and wash dishes and cook food and sleep and self-care.
Yep.
Because that's a really difficult time because baby
And
isn't
that's
sleeping. You know, the baby sleeps and then it wakes up because it's hungry because their tummies are like the size of a quarter for like a few months. You know, they're growing rapidly. You know, they're so hungry, and that's, you know, that's why starvation hits kids the fastest, because kids' tummies are tinier and
mm,
they're growing at the same time. So they
mm,
need the nutrients in order to like create new bones and make their hearts bigger, you know? But like if they're not getting any food, then they're not doing that. So like babies, like their starvation is like evident immediately, right? Because they're growing so quickly and their stomachs are so small. So
right?
they can't hold on to a lot of food and they don't have any fat to draw from because they're new, you know? Um But yeah, the infantile energy is present. It's really interesting because it's exactly what's happening in reality, right? Like right now there's a lot of energy still in the old ways. A lot of power structures are clinging to old ways, right? All the Pisces ancient stuff, all of the age of Pisces stuff of institutions running things and slavery, and like those are all like, and they're Pisces and Virgo themes, right? Servitude is a shared theme between these two sister signs. And that's where the sun and the moon are going to be. The sun's in Pisces, the moon's going to be in Virgo on Tuesday, the 3rd. Tuesday is Mars Day too. Oh my God. Something violent is going to happen.
Oh my God.
Like there's like
I don't
we haven't seen
want
the end of
to
it. And I mean, like I you don't have to
Yeah, I
even
don't.
like, I feel like there's a lot of shit on accelerationists, but I feel like in a time period where Pluto is in Aquarius, acceleration is that's the baseline, right? Like things are going to be happening faster. Things are like changes the only constant. It's going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. And this Aries energy is just going to get thicker because all of this shit that's in Pisces right now is going to be in Aries next month. Like it's going to happen pretty quickly. Like the retrograde's going to be over, Mercury's going to be over there, zip zam zoom, and everything's going to be fighting words. When is the retrograde over?
Really? I'm gonna try to chill out. I don't want to fight, you guys.
But we gotta fight for our right to party. We must fight. That's the like.
Yeah, we gotta
If
fight
we
for
could
our
talk our
rights.
way out of this, if we could peaceful way protest our way out of this shit, that shit would have been done in the
We would have
60s.
been done it.
It would have been over. Right? Like it's come to the point where we're going to have to take the kind of action that they have been telling us not to do, right? They've been telling us, you're peacefully protesting. That's so good. You're so well behaved. Fuck being well behaved. It has gotten us nowhere, right? All of the people that are like, no, we need to be a little bit
They
more
could
aggressive with it.
police
Like,
ass
right?
in
Organize
Milan.
around it, right? Organize around it.
Yeah.
Do it with a collective. One per like as shown,
Yeah.
the people who have been like setting themselves on fire and doing hunger strikes and shit. That's an attempt to appeal to empathy, right? Like that these systems
Mhm.
don't function with that, right? Like, and unfortunately, we see it and we're like, well, I'm what power do I have individually? We've got to do it in a collective manner. That's the lesson that Pluto is going to teach us over and over again. You can't do it all by yourself, right? And like that's like
Mhm.
the lesson for Aquarius, period, is you can't do it all by yourself. And Pisces also, that's also a lesson for
Mhm.
Pisces because Pisces likes to isolate. Aquarius will be in the crowd, but Pisces wants to be in the house, like hermit. Like, nope, you don't see me because I'm not even there, right? Because Pisces is like already off somewhere else in the ether, like communing with spirits,
He's
living in their dreams. But anyway, this eclipse, heavy Pisces energy. This is like if you're trying to like make your wishes come true, like if you have a delusional wish, like push through that. And like whatever it is that you were trying to manifest back in the
push
previous
through
eclipse.
it. Like, what do you mean?
Say it again.
What do you mean by push through that?
I mean, like,
Welcome the delusion
believe that it's
or ignore?
possible. Believe that it's possible.
Okay.
And this is a year of like big dreams. The moon is gonna move there, excuse me, Jupiter is moving from Cancer into Leo this summer. And Leo is about big moves, right? Like grandiose gestures and like being that bitch, like be that bitch this year, like dye your hair, get the like loud colored outfits, like be with volume, right? Be perceived is going to be like the vibe this
Nice.
summer. Like hot girl summer, like you haven't even like, just wait until how bitches be this summer. The bitch is about to be like, oh my God. Even the people that you wouldn't expect. Even the people that you wouldn't expect are gonna be like, "Out." Okay, fashion is about to
I'm
be
about to be out. I already know.
fashioning. Hopefully, the
I just
music is
broke
gonna
up.
be
Like, I'm trying to get snatched.
okay. All
I'm back
right.
outside.
I'm with it. I support it. But more than anything, we will see the results of whatever it is that was important to you during the last eclipse, during the Virgo solar eclipse that happened. I guess it was September or August. August. It was August. Virgo, right? So yeah, I really feel like
It was important to me last.
all these eclipses keep telling us about new beginnings. You know, this eclipse happens in the first
Mm.
house in Philadelphia, New York, Washington, D.C. It's new beginnings, new reality for old structures, for institutions like governments,
Mm.
hospitals, schools.
Read about retaliation.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
am I disconnected right now?
It says connecting. I'm not sure what that means because I can hear you just fine,
Yeah, I can hear you too.
but it does say connecting.
Is it recording? What does
Yes,
that
the timer
mean?
is still going.
Yeah, for me too. Why you say that you're reconnected?
I don't know. My Wi-Fi is Wi-Fiing. Uh-oh. Oh no, I lost Kita. Okay, wait.